Allow me to introduce you all to the reason I'm broke. Hey, today I'm going to show off a couple of my controllers. First off, start with some of the basic ones. PS4 controller, pretty basic. It's got this little thing right in here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like, oh no, it's this side, isn't it? Yeah. But you'll notice it kind of rotates in and out. I think this has motion controls, but I cannot seem to find any games that utilize it to prove it, because I don't see why it would have a little gyroscope type thing in there if it didn't. I don't know. Maybe it's part of the Rumble or something. If it even has Rumble. I haven't seen any games using Rumble for this either, which is also weird. Anyway. Pro controller. Or, not a Pro controller. PS4 controller, sorry. Bleh. Tongue-tied there. Then, Xbox controller. Xbox One. I don't actually have an Xbox One. I did get a controller because it really works pretty well for the PC, and I got this thing with it too because, you know, wireless, sit back, typing shit. Makes certain games a lot easier if you're using a PC more than a few feet away. And then the basic Joy-Cons on my Switch. I originally had black ones, but I ended up having to return the Joy-Cons for credit towards new ones when the first one, like one of them, had it drifted up. I think maybe it was down. I don't remember. Either up or down all the time, anytime, and I couldn't play any games with it. So that happened. Let me see. Other than that, we're going to go with who's next. You know, I'm gonna go with Steam controller because I fucking love this thing. This thing is one of those weird ones I bought that I almost never use anymore. Not since, again, for like the same reason I stopped using the Xbox One controller when my computer and everything is now like right in front of me instead of way. Oh my god! 1 second. Stupid thing keeps falling. I got this because it's yeah. That way I never lose my dongle. Because dongles are important. Never lose your dongle. It's important. Anyway, essentially, this is my favorite controller because of how programmable this thing is. Just being able to map everything to different. I can have like 50, 60 buttons on this thing, even though it has just a couple little pads and shitty things on these things. But I can have like 50 buttons with this thing. It is beautiful and a really great controller to have. It's good. I like it. Anyway, next controller. Pro controller, obviously, kind of pretty basic. Most people know what it is. Gyroscope works really well, and I mainly got this one instead of the slightly cheaper wireless one because of Splatoon and Warframe. I do use this a lot, the motion controls in Warframe a lot. I don't use it as much as I used to, but I do kind of like being able to lean a little bit left and right for a little bit of slight course correction during shooters. Because for some reason, shooters on the Switch aren't as accurate as they could be. I don't know. Anyway. Alright, coming in for a couple more really weird ones. Let's go for this thing. I really regret this one. It's a, for the Switch, it's a wireless, see, it's a keyboard kind of controller thing, kind of like what this is. I forget what it's called exactly. It's like a holder that turns it into a real base controller. It's actually fairly comfortable to hold. just using. It's fine. But when it comes, it's absolute horrible, is this. These are fluffy to touch, not as tactile as I'd like, even though they do have a nice little click. You want to hear it? It's a pretty actually decent click, but it's kind of, they feel fuzzy. It's like touching a, it's trying to press on a mouse pad, basically, is what it feels like. You can hear the click, but it feels like a mouse pad. So, and besides that, half the time the buttons don't work, which is just annoying. So I do regret buying this one, despite the fact that it is actually a pretty fun little, neat little thing to have, but I regret buying it. It's not that great, not worth buying again if you do have it. Oh, obviously I did show you this one. I forgot, but to say what it was. I also can't remember either, so, you know, hurrah. Next, controller. This one is a wired Switch controller. I bought this one before I had the, before I got the Pro controller. Coolest thing about it is these that change out. You know, switch them out. That, and this one's Zelda formed. I did at one, Zelda themed. At one point I had a Mario themed one, which was, I ended up giving that away to a friend because she needed one for an emulator. So, but I got a Zelda one, and I have so many controllers that I just need one more, and I will have an entire full Smash game. Guess what? I have one more. So even that way we can play four-player Smash whenever, which is great. Yeah. This one, which is obviously a wireless Switch GameCube style controller. Only thing I dislike about it is these take just forever to freaking hit, making it kind of useless for shooters, despite the fact that I have used it a lot for Warframe. I do like this one quite a bit. If it had motion controls, I'd say it'd probably be my favorite. Despite that, I never actually end up using it, primarily because my brother hates it, and he puts it up somewhere, and I'm like, oh, I'll just use the controller he last used. Hey, me from the future. That one does, this controller does have motion controls. My bad, sorry. Which is usually the Pro controller. So I've gotten less used to it than I used to be. For me, though, this controller is absolute madness at certain at games like Diablo 3. I really do love this controller as especially as a concept for Diablo 3. I mean, this little nub right here is perfect for dodge rolling, which is what this button does. And you have, you know, your basic movements. Then all of your buttons are nice and quick to get to from here. You're not reaching around for each of the different buttons the way you are on other controllers. So everything's quick to get to for Diablo 3 or any game similar to it. Still, these things are the only problems I have with it. Shoulder buttons are nice, and it has all of the buttons. So, for fast-paced games where you want to use a lot of the face buttons, freaking great. Alright, next controller. The rest are all, by the way, Switch controllers, because that's what I buy a lot of. This one I bought. I definitely don't regret, despite the fact that it is a it's a niche controller that I never use. I don't regret it though. It is just the fact that I have a very Nintendo NES controller. I don't know. I like the very idea of it. It doesn't even have to be a I don't know. It's weird, but it's awesome. It's kind of something cool to put on the shelf. You know, that's the main reason I like it, despite it all. Next controller. The next one I have, which I actually have a lot more complaints about, is this one. Alright, the Pokeball I have a problem with because I play with my hands a lot during downtime in games, and there's a lot of downtime in the one game this works on, which is, you know, Pokemon Let's Go. I got Pikachu. Sue me. But this particular one, I don't use it very much, even when playing Pokemon, despite the fact that, you know, Pokeball, yes, awesome, okay, it's because it's awesome, it's a Pokeball. You have my permission to be jealous. Now, this thing right here is, how should I put this? It's, only got 2 buttons, shakes, motion controls, obviously. But the biggest problem I have with it mainly is when I'm just kind of not paying attention, you know, looking around, looking at the game, reading the text, I fiddle with it like this, like I'm doing right now. And by the time I'm done and I'm like, oh, I gotta press a button, I grab it, and I go to pick a direction, and I'm holding it like this, here. I'm actually holding it right this time a lot, but I'm holding it like this or something, and it's, I can't figure out which way's up and down, which way's left and right, and I can't steer! I cannot steer! So, yeah, that's a problem. I do like the controller, though. And, you know, I have a Pokeball. So, be jealous. You should be jealous of me. I have a Pokeball. And it works. Though this does have a few really good points, though. Just the integration with Pokemon Go. Start sending your Pokemon from Let's Go into this, and then connect it to Pokemon Go, and start capturing Pokemon and shit. It's great. I love it. But yeah. Let me see. Did I miss anyone? I don't think so. But if I do, there's going to be a cut, and then you'll see it then. So, thank you. Have a nice day.